the man said on Garcia. No tats on a lie, baby. We are here. Listen, this is like the perfect video for me to react to, man. 22 things I've noticed while living in France. From this gentleman. I don't know who he is. Alex. What's his name? Alex. What's his name? I think his name is Alex Does France or something like that. But hold on, let's see what his name is. The brother, man. Alex Does France. Yes, that's his name. Alex Does France. So I'm about to check out what my man Alex has to say. Because me as well, I've been living in France for a while now. And, you know, let's see if we, let's just see. This is an interesting video. You know, I'm going to see what he has to say about 22 things he noticed. And see if I noticed the same things. And maybe I need to make a part 2 of the things I noticed while living in France. You know what I mean? This might be some inspiration. But we're going to react to my boy Alex here, man. I don't know him, but we're going to react to him. So let's see what's up.
So I've been living in France for a little while now, and there are a lot of little things that you don't really realize unless you're living here. Some of it surprised me. Some things took some getting used to. And none of this is good or bad, just things that I found interesting. So here are the 22 things I've noticed while living in France.
At least here in Southwest France, you need a coin to get a cart. Forces you to return the cart to get the coin back.
That's right. That's right.
And because of that, I don't think I've seen one misplaced cart since I've been here. So the U.S. really need to take notes about that.
That's a good notice, boy. Hey, in America, them carts are everywhere, bruh. People leave their cart right here, throw it over here. They don't bring it back to the cart rack. You know, so America, y'all might need to adopt that for a show.
You're expected to bag your own groceries, and there's no plastic bags. At first it was a little weird, but it's nice, making sure everything's packed properly, and there's way less waste.
America is, now hold on, because I just was in America, so they are, for the past few years, they've been doing this. They're charging you for bags. If you want to use their paper bags, you got to pay, but the incentive is bring your own bag. Facts. America adopted this, man, like a few years ago.
Walking is built into everyday life. Errands, schools, cafes, everything. No one's trying to hit a step goal here. It just happens naturally. Cars are smaller here, but it's not because people can't get bigger ones. It's because the cities are older. Narrow streets, tighter parking, it's just more practical.
Yeah.
A lot of places don't have air conditioning, which surprised me at first. But between the thick walls, airflow, and shutters, most places are designed to handle the heat better than you'd think. People here are
Facts. So let's talk about it, man. Like walking, yeah, walking is a big thing in France. Well, yeah, like in big cities and stuff like this. When I stayed in the Southwest, I don't know where this guy is at, man. If any of you guys know where he's located at, let me know in the comment section. When I stayed in the Southwest, I was in a small city, man. Gojak, shout out Gojak, baby. But there was no transportation where you needed a car for this place. You know what I mean? And the next village was like, you know, if you were to walk to the next village, it'd be like 20-minute walk. But 20, well, maybe longer than that. 20, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, about 20 minutes you can get over there and walk in. But there's no transportation. So over there, you need a car for real to get around. But normally in the big cities, you don't need it. And then even down there, now hold on, to the air conditioning part. That's one thing I recognized when I came in for like, well, like, where's the AC? Turn on the AC. They're like, ain't no AC here. There's no AC, dog. But down in Gojek, they did have some AC where it's like air conditioning units on top of in each room, on top of the door, and it blows cold air. It blows hot air in the Summer, I mean, in the winter months, it blows hot air. In the cold months, you turn on the AC, it blows cold air. So, but AC in every house, nah, they're not doing that, dog.
To handle the heat better than you'd think. People here aren't flashy, but they're almost always put together. It's almost understated, very effortless, and it's also why it's so fun to people watch here. This one's important. When I first arrived in France, I forgot to say bonjour in one of the local stores in town, a store I still go to all the time, and I always get a weird vibe whenever I go in there. So now I'm overly polite, bonjour, au revoir, the whole thing, bonjourne, and I think they're starting to come around on me, but the lesson is learned. Always say bonjour.
Yeah.
It's not just about saying
You have to always say bonjour, dog. Like sometimes, even now, I be forgetting sometimes, you know what I mean? Or I'll be like going off people, I look at people and if they got like a mad look on their face, I don't like to try to, somebody looking angry, they don't want to be bothered. So I don't say bonjour sometimes, but no, you have to say bonjour, bro. Even being here after all these years, man, sometimes I forget to say bonjour and I'm like, oh shit. They if you don't say bonjour, they take it to the heart, bro. French people take it to heart, like, oh, he didn't say bonjour, he didn't say hi. Man, if I forget to say bonjour to all my friends and family here in France, man, if I see you and I forgot to say bonjour and I didn't say bonjour, that doesn't mean I don't like you or I'm disregarding you. I just forgot, okay? Don't hold it against me.
but the lesson is learned. Always say bonjour. It's not just about saying hello when you walk into a place. Leaving without saying au revoir feels just as noticeable. It's a small thing, but it really matters here. People don't smile at strangers as much. At first, it's a little cold, but it's not rude. I'll admit, though, whenever I lock eyes with someone, I'll smile or give a nod. It's a hard habit to break. But I remember when I first visited France about 8 years ago with my wife. I was in Paris, and I locked eyes with someone in a tunnel and like nodded or smiled, and she thought I was gonna start a fight with him. So, different cultures, I guess. If you say something wrong in French, people might correct you, but most of the time it's not meant to be rude. It's just direct and genuinely helpful.
Yeah.
People are proud of where they're from, their religion, their traditions, their foods. Not in a loud way, just a very confident, rooted kind of pride. If you have young kids, be prepared. Feels like every month or so there's a 2 week break, and on top of that, they're off school. Wait, go get your baby. And on top of that, they only go to school 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Most gyms here.
Yeah. They go to school 4 days a week, and every 6 weeks there's a 2 week break. In America, we have year-round schools. In America, that's what we call them, year-round schools. But France is different. Like every 6 weeks, you get a 2 week break. In America, it's not like that, and you get a long summer like that. Usually, it's a year-round school where you get just every 6 weeks, then you're off 2 weeks, every 6 like this. But I must admit, yes, France, you got to be prepared, man, and it's cool having all these breaks. For sure, you get to spend more time with your family and your kids, and they go to school 2 days, and then they off Wednesday, then go to school Thursday and Friday. I love it.
4 days a week. Most gyms here don't have a sauna, and coming from the US, that was a bit of a surprise because almost every gym has a sauna, and some even have a hot tub or pool. And I can do without the hot tub or pool, but I do miss the sauna after a good workout. So I take the bus pretty often, and during a certain time, there's always a whole gaggle of kids that hop on the bus. No chaos, no parents, just kids going about their day. And it really shows how much independence the kids are given over here early on. This probably goes without saying, but people take healthcare very seriously here. One time when one of my kids were sick late at night, we actually had a doctor come to our house. And I didn't even know house call doctors were still a thing, at least not like that in the US. This could just be my experience, but it feels like everyday things are cheaper here than the US. Healthcare, groceries, certain services. You have to keep in mind though, wages generally aren't as high, so it's really a different balance, not a direct comparison.
That's true. Like, well, the doctor part, yeah, I've had a nurse come and take off my stitches when I had stitches. She came to the house and took off my stitches. Um, that happened, I think, 2 times. And then, yeah, healthcare like much cheaper over here. The food at first when I first got here, like food in America was cheaper, but now that I went back to America and seen how expensive it is, like that food over here is much cheaper, though. Like I think what like eggs in America like $8 for a dozen or $6 for a dozen. It's crazy. $8 for a gallon of orange juice for sure. Like it's crazy over there, man. So over here is different, and then the wages, the salary is not as big as over there, and the rent over here is not. You know what I mean? It equals out. The salary and the raises over here, and the things, the price of living over here, it equals out to be about cool, man. You can have a good, nice quality of life living in France, man. If you make it, you know what I'm saying? If you make like if everybody so you make like 2,500, 3,000 a month, you're good, bro.
There aren't that many fast food chains here in France, which is probably a good thing. But of the ones that are here, KFC is everywhere. And I'm still not quite sure why that's the one that made it. Like, what's the Colonel doing here? You know what I mean? I don't know.
So I'm fine with not a lot of fast food places around, but one thing I do miss is all the coffee shops. Because back in America or the U.S., there's literally a coffee chain on just about every corner of every block. And this morning I had my coffee and I was going to do some errands, and I was like, man, it would be nice if I could just swing by a coffee shop and get some coffee. And yes, there are coffee shops, but it's not really drive-through ones. You know, you got to get in there and you got to be a nice person for a little bit. But, you know, sometimes you just don't want to stop. You just want to get your coffee and get going. So, and I know all the French people say, well, you got to get your coffee and enjoy it. And yeah, I get it. You know, slow down. But what if you don't want to slow down? What if you just want to keep going? So, I mean, that's something I got to work on, I guess, to try to acclimate into the society a little bit better. But I do miss the coffee, being able to get a coffee on any corner of the street, anywhere.
Markets here aren't just about shopping. You see the same faces, same vendors, it becomes part of your routine. You feel social without being forced on you. There's people showing up.
And
It's not as difficult as people.
a lot of people who go to the markets are older individuals, and some of them are retired, man. So you know, the market is a time for them to talk with their friends, go with their friends, or see people throughout the week. Like, so sometimes the market is like I think like Wednesday and Saturday in some places morning. So it gives you time to see your friend and socialize, and it's a good thing, you know. And then you can go get your fresh meat and stuff like that. Like the market situation here in France, I wish it was like that in America, you know.
Think to get around France with limited French, especially in cities. A lot of places have English options, like grocery checkout stands. And I went to a place called Eclipso in Bordeaux, which is a virtual reality experience, and it was all in English. And when I talk to someone and I explain my French isn't that great, they usually switch to English, or they laugh and say never mind. And I also even hear American music on the radio all the time. And that's not to say that you shouldn't be practicing French, because you should try to immerse yourself if you're here. I'm just saying. At first, when I moved here, everything feels like a comparison. US versus France.
Yeah, look French.
But after a while, all that fades. It just becomes the way that life is. And if you come here too, it's just the way it is. And that's perfectly fine.
That's right, man. That's the way it is, bro. It's just the way it is. That's how they get around. That's how they do things here. Ain't no you coming over here trying to change what they're doing. They've been doing for years. How they got their ecosystem working. No, it don't work like that, man. Come over here, adapt, and enjoy. You know what I mean? I love France. I love the French people, bro. You know, like they're really like I really met some people, some friends and family over here that are, you know what I'm saying, with me for life. So I'm just gonna say that like they're my family for life, bro. Even some friends that I met, you know, they ain't been, you know, uh, it's just a certain bond you create with people, man. When you go through certain things and you know, coming over here, not knowing stuff, and people helping you out, taking their time to help you and help you get along because you know, so being so helpful, man, that you stick with a special place in my heart. You know what I mean? So I love it. Uh, I see here the man he was in Bordeaux. Okay, Bordeaux's pretty nice, man. Bordeaux is pretty nice. But yeah, man, y'all, if y'all want me to do a video like this, because there's some other stuff that's, you know what I mean, that's going on in France that I've noticed that I can do a video and, you know, if y'all want me to do one like this, let me know in the comment section. I'll get it done. Besides that, man, shout out to the boy Alex. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching.